Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name's Arcadian, the #1 dumpster tier gamer, and today we are back at it again for some more of our Skyrim Survival Legendary Let's Play. This has been a very long week. If you guys aren't aware, in my last video, I struggled. I struggled hard. We had a Volkihar vampire that was standing outside of the Fort Dawnguard, and it killed us on multiple occasions. So I really had to think about it, and I really appreciate one of my subscribers, a longtime video watcher, Brian. Thank you, sir, for taking me to the mat. You took me out behind the woodshed. You told me I was making a mistake, and I do appreciate you for that. I cannot tell you how much I needed that. That was a swift kick in the pants. And I think it's really helped me to bring back what I should have been doing before. So, with that being said, I want to bring to you Warlord 2.0. Now, Warlord 2.0, this is just a continuation of my Konharik build. This last week I spent and put a bunch of hours into the game, bringing myself back up to where I need to be. As you can see right now, this character, Warlord 2.0, he doesn't look much different from the very first version of Warlord, or from Konharik. If you don't know, the name Konharik is Warlord in the Dragon language. But I assure you, he has been revamped and revitalized, and he is so much stronger as the content that you're going to see after this will show. So first of all, let's talk about what Brian did for me. Basically, he told me that my playstyle had gotten very sloppy, and that the reason why I was dying is because I was making unnecessary risks, or taking unnecessary risks, as well as I hadn't really fleshed out the build to the extent that I needed to for the level of content that I'm at right now. So he is 100% right, guys. Like my playstyle got very sloppy after the summer. I took the summer off due to a bunch of different things, and when I came back, I felt like I was kind of rushing. I was rushing through to try to get this finished so that I can move on to the next project, and so that's the reason why. That's the reason why. It's no excuse. I should have done better, but that's why we're at where we are now. I've spent quite a few hours upgrading the character, getting the character up to where he needs to be, taking in the advice that he had given me, that Brian had given me, and getting as close to that as I possibly could. So, the very first thing that we did is we went and we got the ancient tomes. There's an ancient tome chest in Hobbs Fall Cave. You're going to find that cave right up here. Oop, let me pull it up here. You're going to find that cave right up here east of Dawnstar, Hobbs Fall Cave. Inside this cave is a ancient tome chest. Now, the enemies in this cave are very strong, so I am going to preference this with letting you know you've got to be very careful going in here, because these guys will hurt. So we're going to jump forward here. These guys are very strong necromancers. There's an arc necromancer that you're fighting in here. These guys will be very, very powerful. But you want to get this ancient tome chest here. Inside this ancient tome chest, you're going to find all of the Creation Club spells for the Anniversary Edition. Specifically, though, the ones that we're looking for in that chest are the Unbound spells. So if you look here into our destruction format here, these unbound spells, unbound flames, unbound freezing, unbound storms, these are extremely strong spells. Even though they're only expert level, they do so much damage. That's the reason why you want to pick those up. They're very similar to like the master level spells. Master level does more damage per second technically, but they also cost more magicka. Whereas these spells are their cost to magicka value or cost to damage value is very much on par with where it needs to be. The other big thing about these spells is the area of effect. They do affect your friends, your allies, as well as your enemies. So you got to be very careful about how you use that. And in the video coming up, or in the content that I have planned for this video coming up, you're going to be able to see some of that. There was times where I was antagonizing my own Dremora against me because he was getting hit by my spells. I don't know what exactly is causing that, because I thought I made the proper adjustments, the proper things that needed to be done to avoid that happening, but it really hasn't made a difference, and I got to figure out why. So that brings us to the next point. The next thing that we did is we made a trip over to Solstheim. And in Solstheim, we went and fought 3 dragon priests. We fought Dukan, Zekrosis, and Azadal. And we collected the 3 black books that these dragon priests were guarding. Now these are very important for the continuation of what we needed to do to make ourselves powerful enough for the content coming up. So these 3 black books, and unfortunately I did not record me getting these. You would think by now I would know to hit the record button. But I did not get the recording of me getting these, but the Filament and Filigree, the Sallow Regent, and the Winds of Change. These 3 black books are pivotal to any late game build, and the reason why is because of the benefits that they provide. So the first one, the Sallow Regent, this book is guarded by Dukan in the White Ridge Barrow. Now this particular book gives us an option of 3 different effects. They're called the Seeker effects. You've got the Seeker of Might, the Seeker of Sorcery, and the Seeker of Shadows. Now what these 3 effects do: the Seeker of Might makes it to where your might skills, your combat skills, one-handed, two-handed, heavy armor, these skills are 10% more effective. That is inclusive of smithing, and that's an important point that we're going to hit here in a little bit. The Seeker of Sorcery does the same thing, but for your magic skills, but it also affects your enchanting. And then the Shadow does the same thing for your stealth skills, light armor, sneak, archery, stuff like that, pickpocketing, lockpicking, but it also affects your potion making. So these 3 skills are going to help your crafting to come to the next level. The next one that we got, I believe it was Filament and Filigree. I'm not 100%. It might be the Winds of Change for this next portion. But the Filament and Filigree, this one was locked in behind Zekrosis, if I'm not mistaken. And it provides a magical effect that we needed for making sure that we didn't affect our companions with our spells and shouts. And that's this companion insight right here. It says your attacks, shouts, and destruction spells do no damage to your followers when in combat. Now that last part, that when in combat, seems to be very important. This is the step that I took to try to avoid the collateral damage of my allies with my spells. And it seems to work, but inconsistently. So I got to figure out why that is. But that's, again, a very important part for an in-game spell build. If you're constantly hindering your allies with your spells, then that adds an additional challenge that you are creating towards your build. Finally, the last one is the Winds of Change. Again, not 100% sure. It might be flipped on this. But that provides this right here, the Secret of Arcana. Now, this one here, it says spells cost no magicka for 30 seconds. Now, there's the Seeker of there's an attack focused one, like the might, kind of like the might focused one, which makes it to where your power attacks cost no stamina. And then I can't remember what the shadow one does off the top of my head. But the one that's important for us is the Secret of Arcana. This makes our spells cost no magicka for 30 seconds. This was pivotal to getting our destruction and our alteration up to level 100. And we have made that change. And I'll show you how we went about that here in a little bit. So once we've completed these 3 books, and then in that same kind of, or in one of the quest lines to get this book, or in one of the caves to get, or the dungeons to get this book, we also came upon Azadal's armor. Now this is another very important part for our crafting side of things, because Azadal's armor has a 4-piece armor effect that says, if you wear 4 relics of Azadal, you get plus 10 to enchanting. Think about that. Plus 10 to enchanting. That is a massive boost. Then, if you take that as well as the Seeker of Sorcery as together, you get a plus 20% to your enchanting. That is a very, very powerful buff. And that helped us with a lot of things. So now, or once we did that, once we got to that point, we picked up the Azadal's armor, we got the 3 black books, we got the extra spells to increase our power. We had to actually increase our power. So we did that by revamping our crafting skills. Now, if you don't remember, way back when we did this the first time and got our first set of excellent armor for Konrik, we got our crafting skills all the way up to level 100, specifically our enchanting and our smithing, and then we legendaried them like idiots. So by doing so, we dropped our smithing and our enchanting all the way back down to level 15. So we had to go through and spend all of our gold, almost all of our gold. I probably spent at least 80% of our gold to get the materials to bring our smithing and our enchanting back up to level 100. This took quite a while because, if you come over here, I think it is, you're going to see, we had to go and make new dwarven bows and new legendary dwarven bows, and then we had to go through and we had to enchant dwarven bows. We even had to make iron daggers to get ourselves up to level 30 in smithing so that we could make the dwarven bows. And it took a ton of gold to get the materials as well as the soul gems to be able to do this. Like these, we bought so many petty and common and lesser soul gems to be able to get our enchanting and our smithing up to level 15. Now, something that we didn't do in the last time, the last time that we did this, something that we didn't do that we did this time, is we also went ahead and got our alchemy up to level 15. To do this, I had to go through and basically go to each settlement. So Windhelm, Riften, Markarth, Whiterun, Solitude, Dawnstar, Falkreath. All of these settlements, Morthal, all of these settlements, and we bought out all of their ingredients. and then sold them some of our junk potions and stuff like that to make sure that we had enough money for that. But we bought out all of their ingredients so that we could basically come back here, put them all into an ingredient calculator, and bring ourselves up to level 100 in alchemy. Interestingly enough, while we were doing this trip and while we were traveling back and forth, anytime I saw like a waterfall that salmon were jumping in, or anything like that, I went and I harvested a bunch of salmon roe. And then there's a few places across the map. You can go like right up here north of Dawnstar, and run along this line of this coastline here, and you can collect a bunch of Nordic barnacle. But the largest concentration of Nordic barnacle is right down here, real close to the Lady Stone. So it's going to be kind of like in between these two stone areas, located like right around here. There's a ship with a bunch of Nordic barnacle on. Also inside a Whiterun, just inside of Dragon's Reach, there's a bunch of Nordic barnacle in there. And then we also picked up a bunch of garlic from the different vendors and different houses and stuff like that. All of this to say, we collected like 50 of each, which took our original alchemy level of 70 all the way to 100. Without even needing to use all the ingredients that I bought. So we ended up buying all these bunch of ingredients, and we didn't even need them. In fact, we still have 21 Nordic barnacle left. We still have 18 salmon roe, and I still think we have quite a few garlic as well. Yeah, 32 garlic. So we spent all that time, or all those funds collecting all of those ingredients. And the Nordic barnacle, the salmon roe, and the garlic actually pushed us up to level 100 on their own. And the reason why that happened, so a lot of people don't realize this, but if you increase the power of the potion that you're making, that increases the experience that you get off of that potion. So when we did this crafting experience, I was wearing my full crafter's gear, which, if you don't remember, I made that crafter's gear way back earlier in the series. And then I also used the Seeker of Shadows spell effect, which gave us a plus 10% to our alchemy, which that helped to boost the level of our alchemy, or the boost of the spells that we were, or the potions that we were making, and then making that potion of water breathing, which is the most powerful potion in the game that you can make. A lot of people believe that the giant toe potions are actually the most powerful, but that's not true. Salmon roe, Nordic barnacle, and garlic creates the most powerful potion in the game, this potion of water breathing right here. And as you can see, like, you've got ones that are 10,000, you've got ones that are worth 11,000. No vendor in the game can actually buy these without bottoming out their pool of gold with one potion. There is one vendor that if you complete the Thieves Guild questline, you do all the Radiant quests and get the Thieves Guild fully set up to what they're supposed to be, you can sell like 2 potions at a time to the lady, the merchant at the Thieves Guild. So that got our crafting skills all the way up to level 100, and with the necessary perk points, we were able to create for ourselves, or with the necessary perk points and the necessary spell effects, we were able to create for ourselves the Master Crafter's gear. Now, this is the same setup. Give me 1 second. This is the same setup that the crafter's gear uses. So we still, except for this one, uses silver ring and silver amulet. I think for this one I used a gold ring and gold amulet. But if you look, our crafter's gear uses 20 or improves our potion making and improves our weapon and armor enhancements by 25%. Not bad, but with the master crafters, we were able to take that to the cap, which is, if you don't know, without breaking the game, without using an effect like resto looping or something like that, the maximum that you can get on your gear, if I'm not mistaken, is 33%. So as you can see, 33% better potion making, 33% better weapon and armor improvement. That was done through the making of the potions using the sorcery, using the original crafter's gear, making enchanting potions with the Seeker of Shadows, the original crafter's gear, making an enchanting potion, and then using those enchanting potions and the Azadal's armor to create the master crafter's gear. So I'm going to go ahead and put these away because we do not need these anymore. The master crafter's gear is going to do so much better for us than the crafter's gear did. Now, once we've got our crafting skills up to level 100 and we got the necessary perks, it was then time to upgrade our gear. And to do this, Brian made the comment that we need to get our armor rating up to the cap or close to it. We needed to get our magic resist up to the cap or close to it. We needed to make sure that we got the better enchantments, like better health, better absorb, all the different better things, the better resistances, like the fire and shock resistance. We needed to upgrade our gear to something better than what it was. That's what we did. Using all the same things, making a new enchanting potion from the Master Crafter's gear, which actually I still have a couple of them left. We were able to make an enchanting potion with a 30% increase to our enchanting skill. Not that one. Was it that one? Yeah, 30%. I thought there was one that was 38. Give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, 30% increase to our enchanting skill. This allowed us to be able to make much stronger gear than what we had before. That increased the enchanting power of our gear. So, if you don't remember, just to kind of go through it, we had... Let's go to our Dragon Priest gear here. The original Dragon Priest amulet gave us a 20% or 27% conjuration decrease cast, like less cast cost, and a 27% destruction. Same for the ring, 27%, 27%. Our boots gave us a fire resistance of 39 and a frost resistance of 39, which something that Brian pointed out is that being a Nord, the extra frost resistance wasn't really necessary because you already have 50 frost resistance. Sure, the 39 on top of that gives you an 89 frost resistance. That's viable, but you're better off getting the shock resistance instead of the frost resistance, which is something that I missed before. And then also, we increased our magicka by 65 points and one-handed attacks by 42%. That is the old Dragon Priest gear. Also, if you realize, we also, if you look at the quality of those two boots and gauntlets, the armor rating on the Dragon Priest boots and the Dragon Priest gauntlets was 126 apiece. That's an important number to remember because our new setup is so much better than that. So, with that being said, now it's time to introduce the new Dragon Priest armor. Starting off with the Dragon Priest amulet, this is still going to run the same two enchantments. The conjuration spell cost now is 34% instead of 27%. That is a 7% increase on the amulet as well as on our ring. 7% increase is massive. The Dragon Priest boots now do reflect the fire and shock resistance, and instead of a 40% increase, it is now a 52% increase. So we now have a 50% increase on both fire, shock, and frost. Our Dragon Priest gauntlets, instead of 62, increasing our magicka by 62, it now increases our magicka by 87, and instead of 41% on our one-handed attacks, it now does 56% more. That's actually going to be very important later on, and I'm going to show you that why. And then finally, we upgraded all of the material with the armor enhancement, and as you can see, we are now sitting at a crisp 224 armor enhancement on our boots, on our gauntlets, and also on our Konarek mask is now at 240. This, with the Lordstone buff, the Lordstone that we picked up a while ago, this buffs our armor rating to a nice 738, which is well above the armor cap. If I'm not mistaken, the armor cap is like 595. Once you hit 595, it's either 595 or 695. You have what's called, you have 80% damage reduction on physical attacks. So what we've done here is we've bumped our armor rating all the way up to 738. We now have that 80% damage reduction. We've hit that armor cap. Now, Brian made a good point about our amulet and our ring. If you want to really upgrade your survivability in legendary difficulty, health is one of your biggest resources. So all of these points that we are putting in from all this time that we've spent leveling up, we've leveled up a lot of times. We've put those points into health and got our health pool from 200 to 290. We are going to continue to put those points into health, and we're going to eventually take our health pool as close. I'm not going to say we're going to go to 400, but we're going to at least try to get to 350 in health. I feel like that's a good midway point. Now, one thing that he did mention that I'm testing it out, but I'm not necessarily sold on it yet. Is doing the health increase on our amulet and on our ring instead of one of the cost reductions. And I chose to do it on, I chose to keep the destruction cost reduction. But if you look, I did put the health enchantment on. I named them the Archmage's Amulet and Archmage's Ring so that when I activate my quick menu here, they're right up top. I can switch to them real fast and not have to worry about going all the way into the menu and switching and doing all that. Next up are weapons. So, the original Warlord's sword that we had was very strong at the level that we created it. It made that content, and we ran through that content like it was nothing. And that was because, let's take off our gauntlets. That was because the base damage on the Warlord sword, once we improved it, was at 145. That was pretty strong for the content that we were doing. And even with our 41% gauntlets, that actually was increased to closer to like 180 or 190, I think it was. It was a very strong weapon. Okay. That being said, it was a little outdated. We were behind. We were behind when we got to when we finished beating Alduin, and I really think that leading up to beating Alduin, it wasn't as strong as it needed to be, and we didn't keep up with it. So that brings us to our Dragon Priest sword, or Dragon Priest blade. Now, with this weapon right here, the base damage on this weapon, this is without the gauntlets, is 264. That is already base damage double, almost double, what we had with the Warlord sword. It's 80 stronger, so not quite double. It's 80 points stronger than what we had with the Warlord sword. However, if we put on our new Dragon Priest gauntlets, which have a 56% more damage to one-handed attacks, our Warlord sword now does a whopping 412 damage per hit. And that's not inclusive of the 25 points of absorb health that we're getting back, which the old weapon only had 21. And then it also has the soul gem, soul trap effect, as well as the fire effect. It does 10 points of fire damage, as well as soul trapping if they die within 5 seconds. This weapon is a beast, as we're going to show it off in the upcoming content that you're going to see. But I've mentioned in the last couple of videos that a Dragon Priest is supposed to have a staff, right? So we went ahead and we made ourselves a Staff of the Storm Wall. This was a destruction staff that we created right here using our own heartstones, our own staff, at our own staff enchanter. This thing is actually really cool. I'm really enjoying using it. You're going to see it coming up when we go to take on the underbelly of Castle Volkihar. It's just really cool, the effect of this and how effective it really is. However, we did do one more thing. Before we legendaried our alchemy skill, when we still had the full power of our alchemy, we went ahead and made up some potions. We made up a Fortify Conjuration potion that allows our conjuration skills or spells to last 139% longer. So our Dremora Lords are going to last for so much longer off of this. We also made Fortify Destruction potions. This allows us to, when we cast our destruction spells, if we pop one of these potions, we didn't make a bunch of them because I feel like it's going to be overpowered, but we pop one of these, we're going to do just so much damage with our destruction spells, it's not even going to be funny. 139%, you're talking with Unbound Storms, which does 40 damage per second. You're talking just a massive amount. Like, you're talking 90, 100 damage per second on that one spell during the duration of that potion. So strong, and it's going to be so beautiful when we get to use it. So that is the gear that we've made up. Now, the leveling. We went ahead and we maxed out our destruction skill and our alteration skill. And the way that we did this is a little bit weird. So I talked about the Secret of Arcana. The Secret Arcana means that, or it says that the spells that you cast within 30 seconds cost 0 magicka. That's pretty powerful. Especially if you're casting like a continuous spell, that's going to hold for longer than the 30 seconds. So if you look here, I'm going to kind of show it off how that works. I'm going to activate the Secret of Sorcery. Then I'm going to cast Telekinesis. And I can hold it. And hold it. And hold it. It's still not costing any magicka. But that being said, we're still within the 30 seconds. So once the 30 seconds is up, you're going to see the green glow around my character disappear. And it's gone. And I'm still not using any magicka. So the reason why this is because any spell that you cast within that 30 seconds is not going to cost any magicka at all. That is inclusive of concentration spells like the telekinesis. It's just going to hold, and it's going to stay there, and it's not going to go away. And I was able to get myself up to level 100 in alteration by just simply holding these two buttons. Super, super nice. The same goes for the Unbound Storms. You get so much experience off of Unbound Storms just by casting it as a concentration spell. You don't even have to hit an enemy with it. It's just the concentration aspect of it. So I cast Unbound Storms. I went underneath the College of Winterhold, and I literally just held it there. I sent Serana, and I made her wait up top, because if you cast this spell close to her, she's going to take the damage. So I made her wait above, and then I went down the ladder and just held it, and got our destruction up to level 100. Now that we've got that, we've got the relevant perks all the way up to Master Destruction. We're still trying to focus on lightning spells. I thought about picking up Disintegrate, but I'm not really... It doesn't really do anything for me personally, I don't think. But the main thing that we wanted to get in this tree was Magic Resist 3 out of 3. This gives us a 30% magic resist out of just the skills. This is important because with the Lordstone giving us a 25%, we are now at a 55% magicka resist, or magic resist. The cap, I believe, and I'm not 100%, so don't quote me on it, I believe the cap is 80. So at 55, we're standing pretty strong. But we're not quite there yet. There is still, we could go and get the Loverstone, which gives us another 15%, which is something that I will do eventually. I probably will do that before we take on the Dragonborn content. We will knock out the Book of Love quest. I said Loverstone. I meant the Book of Love quest, Mara's Blessing, which will give us another 15% magic resistance, topping us off at a crisp 70% magic resistance. That's still not enough. We still haven't met the cap yet. So, what we've done is we've made some potions while we were still at our max alchemy state, and made some resist magic potions. Now these resist magic potions give us a 28, I apologize. I know why that's not showing the right numbers, because the enchanting potion should have been 38%. The problem is that we are tired and we are hungry. So let's go ahead and sleep here real fast. We'll grab our food. So if you don't know if you're tired, it makes potions less viable. Like they're not as good. So now that we're no longer tired, I can show the enchanting potion again, and it's going to give us a plus 38% on our enchantments. Potion of enchanting right here. Plus 38% stronger. I knew the 30% was wrong. And then if you look at our resist magic, it now gives us a 35% resist magic off of this potion. Match that with our 55%, and we are now at a 90% magical resistance, well over the resistance cap, and very, very, very viable and very strong. So yeah. That's the work that I've put into it. Like I said, I've put a couple hours on the character. I've spent thousands, tens of thousands of gold to to make sure that the rest of the content that we're going to face is going to be first of all, the rest of the content that I provide for you is going to be properly good. We're not going to play sloppy anymore, and I appreciate you, Brian, for holding my toes to the fire. Hopefully this is what you were talking about. Also, he made a comment that I needed to up my in-game volume, so I went ahead and did that as well. Let me know if that's better, if that gives you a better quality. If I need to turn the voice down a little bit, I can as well. So, all in all of this is to show that I've done all the work, I've put in the effort, and I'm going to provide better content for you starting right now. Alright, so with Warlord 2.0, we are on our way. We are, if you watched the last video, we talked to Serana here, and she talked about trying to find her mother. Her mother happens to be in a special realm that you can only get to by going underneath Castle Volkihar. So we are going to be on our way up there. We have gained a ton of levels trying to get our smithing. Hello, legendary dragon? Or revered dragon. This guy's actually pretty strong. So we're going to go ahead and hit him with a dragon wren. I want to see what this does. Oh yeah, look at the damage we're doing here. It doesn't seem like a whole lot until you realize this is a revered dragon. Their health pool is so high that it's like not even fair. I shoved it and go up. Got him. Just barely got him there. Now he's not going to be able to fly away. Revered dragon, everybody. That was actually a really good showing of how strong this character has gotten. These revered dragons can be scary. Like, they can do a lot of damage. Oh, so now that we've got that, I can kind of show off what we're really doing here. So we've got the Dragon Priest blade. I don't think I have the staff set, do I? Oh, I did. It's under, there we go. So we're going to hit this fledgling with the storm wall here. That should take him out, or her out. We've got another one up there, one back here. That's just a regular vampire. She's not going to do much. She's hitting me with a absorb health. We'll come in here, one-shot her. Now this one, on the other hand, Night Lord Vampire, he's going to be fairly strong. So we do have to be careful with him. Let's get some closed wounds here. Where did my Dremora Lord go? Set that up behind him. And let's go ahead and do the Unbound. Since we're in combat, this shouldn't... Oh, it's still getting Serana. There we go. And we can just cast a spell for so long now. Like, it's just... It casts for so long. 93% magicka reduction on destruction. Not even close. As you can see, we're doing so much damage to the Night Lord Vampire. Tried to become invisible. So the reason why it didn't destroy my Warlord there is because of another power that we picked up through, or active effect that we picked up through those black books. The reason why I wanted to get all 3 of those black books was because of the 3 powers, and this one being Companion's Insight. Your attacks, shouts, and destruction spells do no damage to your followers when in combat. Now, that is a very important part, the when in combat. Meaning that if you are out of combat, your spells, shouts, and powers will do damage to your companions. So you got to be very careful about your timing on when you use those spells and such. We're going to go ahead and warm up here. The place that we're going, like I said, is Castle Volkihar. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But we're going to go up in that direction, be able to knock all this out. I don't think we'll knock everything out. We're going to the Soul Cairn, so I don't think we'll be able to knock all that out. But at least getting into that area, into the Soul Cairn, we should be able to do in this video. This video will be a somewhat shorter video because I was doing a lot of the showing off the Warlord 2.0. But I think the attack with the Revered Dragon definitely helped us out a lot there. He also mentioned that my game volume was down really low, so hopefully I've been able to fix that and make things a little bit better for you guys. If it's still not quite there, please leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do to make that better. Is my voice too high? Is my game volume too high? Because I've got it set at the highest it'll go. So maybe I just need to turn the voice down or whatever. Let me know. I will never, obviously, I will never attack somebody for constructive criticism. Like, if you leave me in the comments, even if you're just telling me like you like the content, that's perfectly fine. But if you have like constructive criticism to help me to be better and to do better, please, I will never say, well, I may disagree with you, but I will never say that you're outright wrong and not to do it again. Like, you just leave me a comment. Let me know if you're liking the content. Let me know what I can do better. I know this long form style of content is not as popular as other styles. Like, I know most people do 30-minute videos, stuff like that. It's a little bit harder for me because I don't do a whole lot of editing and stuff like that for my videos. So I try not to spend a whole lot of time on that because A, I'm not good at it, and B, it's just you make 3 hours of content and then you edit it down to an hour or so, and it seemed like a waste of time for me. Now, if I had like a video editor or something like that, then absolutely, but this is something that I do for my own enjoyment, I'm not making any money off of this. So I would like to eventually maybe be able to make this kind of like a full-time job type thing. But where I'm at right now, that's not really a viable option. Alright, so we're just making our way. I don't usually like to travel at night, but It's alright. We should be able to get through no problem. There's Dragon Bridge up ahead of us. Let's go ahead and get that. So like I said, this will be a shorter video. We're basically going to get to the Castle Volkihar and be able to... I want to try to at least open the gate to the Soul Cairn. That's my goal for this video. It was introducing you to our upgrades and then make our way to at least get to this, open the gate for the Soul Cairn. That's my goal. She's wearing a dragon bone set. Right? Is that dragon scale, or is that dragon... Or is that ebony? That might be ebony. Can't see well enough to know. Yeah, that's...
There's been word of some trouble nearby.
Oh yeah, that's ebony armor.
I'm on my way to investigate.
It was hard to tell, it not being daytime. Back into the cold. Floating pair of boots. Hey, I finally knocked him down. That's funny. Oh. Combat with a troll. It's alright, we'll be able to outrun a troll like it's nothing. Another troll? Alright. Let's take our little shortcut here. A little bit of damage to the horse because we're falling a little far, but it's alright. Oh, that's a bandit or hunter or something. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. It's like, where's the boat? Okay, so I know that was a lot. A lot of that wasn't very streamlined. I didn't really have it like scripted out how I was going to say that and how I was going to talk about what the changes that we've made. But hopefully that made sense to you. Basically, we've done exactly what he said. We've increased our armor rating. We've increased our magic resists, and made a better character. Is what we did. So now we've got to kind of go in through a side passage. I believe if we try to go up through the gate, like they just won't let us in. I don't think they become hostile or anything. They just will not let us in. So we got to make our way around this bend here and come into the castle from
The castle looks so big from down here. I mean,
a
it is
different
big,
direction.
But, well, even bigger.
Now there will be enemies that are down here that are hostile, so we have to fight our way through. That does kind of stink because it is cold. So we'll have to be a little smart about how we do this. Always, always, always want to send the Dremora in first. Let him draw their attention so that they won't straight up attack you. And our goal is to go up there. Oops. Careful walking through the spell, the blizzard spell. I think we actually just do more damage to this guy. Take him out. That's an archer. Gotta be careful. Oh, sorry, Serrano. We will be picking up the master destruction spells very soon. It's definitely not going to be in this episode. It might not be in the next episode. But we will be picking those up because that will allow us to do a lot more damage to certain targets. There we go. Okay, we are cold. We need to get inside and warm up. I don't think that candle's going to provide enough warmth. The air is warm here, so this is good. This will get us the warmth. We did get a level up, so we're gonna go, or not a level up, but we did get a up in our heavy armor skill. Not that we really need to. We're definitely going to pick up the conditioning perk here. I don't think we need to go up any farther in this side because A, we're not wearing all heavy armor. We're not wearing only heavy armor. We're not wearing a matching set, and reflect blows is again you have to be wearing all heavy armor. We're not doing that. So that side is not useful to us. We don't necessarily need this Juggernaut perk point level 4 because we already are meeting the armor cap. But might as well go ahead and get it and just to have continuity. I'm not even trying to level up my sneak. There's got to be a better. Oh.
Done and done.
The goal here, like I said, our next real goal is to get our conjuration back up to level 100. That's skills-wise, that's what we want. We want our conjuration back up so that we'll be able to do the Twin Souls perk, as well as if we can get it up to level 80, we'll grab the Elemental Potency, which will make our summons a little bit stronger. That wasn't a boosted summon, so we'll go ahead and boost that summon there. Eventually, I would like to be able to just use Storm Thralls instead of the Dremora Lords.
What did you need?
As you can see, as far as casting cost goes, pretty much everything is brought way down. Like without our gear, let's just look at this. So with just the 10% and without our gear, So this is without the extra like reductions that we have on our gear. This is only using the 10% that we get from the Seeker of Sorcery. See, our casting costs went way high on a lot of things. Let's look at Conjuration. Storm Thrall was 119. It now costs 703. Like, that is such a massive jump. Frost Thrall, 645. Conjure Warlord is 105. Alright. So that gives you kind of an idea of what the casting cost without our gear is. With our gear, $119. Frost Thrall, 109, 89. Dremora Lord, it costs us 17 mana to
Yes. What did you
summon a Dremora Lord. Alright, we're going to be here for a second, so will pause this and then we'll be right back with you. Alright, and we're back.
Yes.
We
What
have
did you need?
officially gotten warmed up and we are ready to continue on our trip.
Where'd you come from? That'll do. I knew it.
Where's he at? Take him out. So the feral vampire is actually fairly strong, funnily enough.
There can be no other end.
We could pick up the gear now. We have like literally almost no gold, but we're gonna just go ahead and let it slide. We don't really need any gold for anything. Maybe like the better spells later on, like the better the better destruction spells and master level destruction spells. But I think we're okay for now. Uh-oh. I didn't realize we contracted Sanguine Vampirus. Is that really? Yeah, we must have. Huh. Yeah, we're gonna cut that out real quick. We can't become a vampire. Good thing is I've got some potions of cure diseases. Takes that and gets rid of that real quick. I think this is one that does... Oh, maybe not.
You knew I heard something. You're not getting the best of me. Done and
Yep.
done.
That's a Venom Fang, so you do got to be careful about these guys. There's... Oh no, that's just a regular one. Some of these in here are Venom Fangs, so you do kind of have to be careful. They will hurt kind of bad. Like we're hitting it, we're getting these guys in one hit. We're definitely very, very strong now. I do want to make sure that the Warlord does take the brunt of the attack, though. Because even though we've got the armor rating now, we've got the 80% physical damage reduction, it's just good practice to make sure that you're not the one tanking things. See? Shouldn't be taking that. Oh, we did go up to level 80. There we go. So we've got to make it to Valorica's courtyard. If we can get to her courtyard, then it's not too difficult to open up the way to the Soul Cairn from there. You just got to do a little bit of a puzzle. Alright, so this here is a courtyard.
What happened to this place? Everything's been torn down. The whole place looks, well, dead. It's like we're the first to set foot here in centuries.
It's like your dad got angry.
This used to lead into the castle's great hall. Looks like my father had it sealed up. I used to walk through here after evening meals. It was beautiful once. This was my mother's garden. Do you know how beautiful something can be when it's tended by a master for hundreds of years?
Has all it's got is a bunch of nightshade.
Wait. Something's wrong with the moon dial here. Some of the crests are missing and the dial is askew. I didn't even know the crests could be removed. Maybe my mother's trying to tell us something.
Alright, so now we gotta go collect the crests so that we can fix the moon dial. So yeah, we just gotta collect the different crests. For example, this one was a half moon. Oh, maybe, yeah, it was...
I'm telling you, there's something strange with the moon dial.
There we go. That one goes there. The different crest pieces are basically around the courtyard. So you just gotta find where the different crest pieces are. I know where a couple of them are, but it's been a while since I've done this quest, so... Bear with me for a second. Just gonna kind of look around and see if I can find them. There we go.
I'm telling you, there's something strange with the moon dial. Very clever, Mother. Very clever. I've never been in those tunnels before, but I bet they'd run right under the courtyard and into the tower ruins. Well,
Alright, now we're going to the Volkihar ruins. This was kind of like the secret hideout for Valorica.
I've never even seen this part of the castle before. Be careful. I don't know what might be around. Where'd you come from? You're not getting the best of me. Done and done.
Unbound Storms just really does do a lot of work, guys. And that's not even like the fully, like, I could actually take that even farther and do even more with it. Oh,
Who's there? Knew I was something.
that did very little damage to him. They're kind of resistant to magic, so you gotta be very careful with these guys. That and they hurt a lot. It's a pretty powerful skeleton.
That'll teach you. We're getting close. I'm sure of it.
Another archer up here. We're too close to the Warlord when we use that. He's getting hurt by the proximity effect. Oh, we upset him.
You're not getting the best of me.
Those were weaker skeletons, so that wasn't too bad. This one's gonna break free. Stagger him with a hit. There we go. Because we do so much more damage with our weapon now, we don't we're just plowing through these guys. Alright, that guy's gone. If we come down through here, yeah. Oh. Thought we came down through here, right?
We're getting close. I'm sure of it.
Oh, in here. Another skeleton. Oh, he went around it. Stagger with a hit. Back up. Avoid the hits. Stagger him again. Try not to hit my Warlord.
No match at all.
Oh, come on.
A challenger is near.
I really like that Unbound Storms. Doesn't work as well when you've got teammates, but it's still very valuable.
That'll teach you.
Oh, Warlord's mad at me again. That was dumb of me. There we go.
Done.
Thing is, it's like it's very inconsistent.
I don't think
Oh,
we've reached the top
this
yet.
is good. This is
I
pretty
bet
cool.
there's some kind of
So
secret
this is your
passage
first
around
chance to get the Vampire Lord armor. It actually is very similar to the Archmage robes. So Oh, no. That might have been a mod. I'm sorry. I was completely wrong about that. 125 faster magic regeneration. Magic regenerates. Yeah, we're better off with the Archmage robes by far.
We're getting close. I'm sure of it.
All right, let's do. That's not it.
Leave it to my mother.
Huh.
Very smarter than I gave her credit for.
And now we've made it to her private room. In here, there are a lot of things.
Look at this place. This has to be it. I knew she was deep into necromancy. I mean, she taught me everything I know. But I had no idea she had a setup like this. Look at all this. She must have spent years collecting these components. And what's this thing? I'm not sure about this circle, but it's obviously something. Let's take a look around. There has to be something here that tells us where she's... My mother was meticulous about her research. If we can find her notes... I had no idea her... She had an alchemy set up in her drawing room. Looking at the equipment and materials, it looks like she was trying to advance her necromancy. I don't know. Certainly not longevity. Kind of a waste of time for a vampire.
Alright, so that book there was the notes that told us what she was doing.
Any
She
luck
found a
yet?
way into the Soul Cairn.
You did? Let me see them. I only know what she told me. She had a theory about soul gems. That the souls inside of the Soul Cairn is home to very powerful beings. My mother spent a lot of time trying to contact... That circle in the... If I'm reading this right, there's a formula here that should give us safe passage into the Soul Cairn. A handful of soul gem shards, some finely ground bone meal, a good bit of purified void salts. Oh, damn it. We're also going to need a sample of her blood, which, if we could get... Anyway, enough of that. Oh, definitely. Mother would have plenty of those materials in her laboratory. You just need to find them.
Alright, so... There's soul gem shards. Now all we need left is the purified void salts. Because we've already picked up the bone meal. I'm just going to go ahead and gather all the ingredients. But that's the one that you need, is the purified void salts. A little bit of Serana's blood, and we've got ourselves the entrance into the void.
Get the ingredients in that vessel and let me know when you're ready. Then the rest is up to me. Are you ready to go? I'm not entirely sure what this thing is going to do when I add my blood.
Not quite yet.
Here we
Let's... Oh, she started. I was going to try to find somewhere to sleep so that we can... That was designed to be, I believe, a place that you can fast travel to. Yeah. See, the only point for that is that you can like fast travel away and then fast travel back to there. Obviously, fast
Then the
travel's
rest
not
is
an
up to me.
option.
Are you ready to go? I'm not entirely... Okay, here goes.
She drops blood in there.
Sisters. Created a portal to Soul. Incredible.
Activated a portal into the soul realm.
Are you alright? That looked painful. Now that I think about it, I should have expected that. Sorry. It's hard to describe. The soul cairn is... well, hungry, for lack of a better word. It's trying to take your life essence as payment. There might be, but I don't think you're going to like it. Vampires aren't counted among the living. I could probably go through there without a problem. Not your first choice, I'd guess? Maybe. We could just pay the toll another way. It wants a soul, so we give it a soul. Yours. My mother taught me a trick or two. I could partially soul trap you and offer that gem to the ideal masters. It might be enough to satisfy them. It would make you a bit weaker when we travel through the soul cairn, but we might be able to fix that once we're inside. Maybe. I'm sorry. I wish I knew a better way, something that would be easier for you. Just know that whatever path you choose, I won't think any less of you. Sometimes things just have to be done. I know that better than anybody.
Alright, so we gotta decide, do we want to become a vampire or do we want to become partially soul trapped? We're gonna choose to become partially soul trapped. Because this character is just very much against being a vampire.
Are you sure? I'm willing to do it, but you need to think it through. You'll remain mortal, but you'll find yourself weakened within the soul cairn. I know this is difficult for you. I hope you trust me. I'd never do anything that could hurt you. Thank you. Let's not waste any more time then. I promise to make this as painless as possible. Hold still.
Alright, now we've become partially soul trapped. We can enter the soul cairn.
I feel terrible for the dead who end up here for eternity. Seems awful.
So what this does is this weakens us actually pretty considerably. So our health drops down to 245, our stamina down to 55, and our magicka 553. It's a pretty hefty jump. I don't believe it affects our armor. Yeah, it doesn't affect our armor rating. It shouldn't affect our magicka resistance. So, with that being said, we are now in the Soul Cairn. We are going to call it quits here for today. So thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the content and you like the new Warlord 2.0, please leave a like, and consider subscribing to see more content as it comes out. I am going to do my very best to not get complacent in my style of play like I have been before. Thank you again to Brian for calling me out on that. I do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and call it for today, and I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend.